So welcome to my allotment. It's the beginning of August and I'm going to be harvesting some of my crops today. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. Now my Bramley apples are ready to harvest if I wanted to. It does all depend where you are in the country. If you take a look, absolutely lovely beautiful size there. I'm not actually going to pick any off today, but I will be at some point during August. But they're absolutely fantastic this year, really big, and Bramley apples, really chuffed with those. The pears are not quite ready yet, so we'll leave those on for a few more months now. The rhubarb, it's looking a little bit tired. I could harvest a few sticks if I wanted to. I know some people say not to pull in certain months, but to be honest, as long as you don't pick it bare, I find it's fine to pick it whenever you want to pick it. I don't think those rules really mean a great deal, but I would never pick a plant bare. I just pick what I need when I need it. So as we move over, I'm still getting some raspberries. They've not been my best crop this year, but yeah, we've got some raspberries here, so I shall be picking some of those today. I've got quite a good crop here. Not too bad. They're not really as big as they have been some years. Sometimes, do you know what, I find they're not as good. It just varies. There's no odds in it. Then other, you know, like next year will probably be a lot better, but I'm still getting plenty every time I come up here. And raspberries are incredibly expensive, you know, and you get a lot more for your ground space as well. So if you're short on space, you know, raspberries are a really good thing to pick. Because you just get so much and they come back year after year, far more productive than if you were to grow strawberries. You know, if I could only grow one thing between raspberries and strawberries, it would be the raspberries, because I just get so many more, and raspberries are extortionately expensive, and strawberries normally when they're in season they are a reasonable price, not as bad as raspberries. Got some absolutely fantastic blackberries here, which I'm able to harvest as well. So you only pick them when they just come off really easily. So if they don't come off easily in the hand, they need a little bit longer on the plant. So don't, unless you're not bothered about them being quite sour. So that just easily came off, and they're much juicier and much tastier. This is a particularly nice variety because it's thornless, so they're not painful to pick. But again, these are just dropping off really easily, which means they'll be much sweeter. Same with the raspberries, you don't tug them off, otherwise, you know, they're not going to be quite so tasty. I'll have to come back and pick those later because there's quite a lot there. Obviously my leeks need a lot more time. There'll be quite a few months yet till they're ready to toll. My onions, I've just dug them all up. If I'm honest, I probably should have dug them up a few weeks ago. It's not my best harvest of onions, but they are still onions nonetheless. Again, onions are one of those things. Some years they do really well. Other years you do get the odd year where they're not quite so productive, but they are all still pretty, all beautiful onions. They're not just quite, they're just not quite as big. If you don't know when your onions are ready, it's when the leaves flop over. If they've bolted, which you do get the odd one that bolts like that, it won't flop over. But if I show you one here, that's exactly when that was in the ground, that would have been like that. That's perfect, and it needs to be dug up. And I'll take those home and I will dry them so that they last throughout the winter. So the lettuces are cropping really well, so that's something I can take some today. In one of my videos for sowing, this is something that you can sow if you want to sow some more, so you've got a continuous supply. So I just break it off and it just keeps coming. This cut and come again lettuce is absolutely amazing. With all lettuce, as soon as you get it home, plunge it in some cold water, and it will keep much better in the fridge. Otherwise it might wilt. So I'm going to have quite a collection by the end of this tour. So beetroots again are doing absolutely fantastically. So we could be picking some of those. As you take a look there, absolutely fantastic. So you just pull out the bigger ones and you let the smaller ones swell out. So like I've said before, I don't bother thinning. Well, my thinning out is once one gets to a pickable state, like that one. And if we have a bit more of a look down here, there'll no doubt be another largish one. Yeah, there we go. You take those out and then the smaller ones around it will get bigger. So they're perfect. A lovely size, those there. So as we move down, the potatoes are really good. I've already dug some of my potatoes. I've got plenty at home at the moment. I leave mine in the ground until later in the year because they keep much better. So I see a lot of people digging their potatoes up already, and you don't need to until there's a chance of frost really, or when it starts to get really, really wet, because then you're more likely to get worms and other things eating them from underground. But this time of the year I find they store much better underground, and I just dig what I want when I need it. So, as we move over, the runner beans, well, we had lots and lots of bloom on the runner beans, and I thought I was going to have an utter abundance. Well, because it was so incredibly hot, a lot of the blooms didn't germinate into, or didn't pollinate into beans. So I have got some coming, and I did find a really nice big bunch in here, which are good. So I have got some that are pickable, so those ones are okay. And I think I've seen a few others in here, but at the moment it's a little bit disappointing. But we've got lots of, oh, there's another one there. So all you need to do is just, the thing with these, they're camouflaged and you can't find them. So you do need to really look around, in and around, lift the leaves up underneath. Often the first few are quite low down and you can easily miss them. So I'm sure I will get plenty because we've got lots of bloom coming. So we've got months and months and months yet to be getting beans. So there really is no rush to be getting them. I just leave those there. I'll have to come around and collect them. Oh, there's another one there. There we go. See, that's the thing. Once you start looking, my French beans at home are actually doing much better. Actually, a good way to do it is like I'm just doing now. I'm looking through the middle and I'm seeing quite a few beans. So I'm going to have to come back and get these going through the middle. So if you look through the middle, sometimes you can see ones that you would miss when you look through the sides. So I'll come back for those in a little while. Something's gone absolutely mad. Literally a few days ago I was here and this courgette is now turned into a marrow. I mean, that is just absolutely bonkers. Literally about 3 or 4 days ago I was here. We had a couple of nights away and it looks like the allotment got really, really busy, which is good, you know. I've only really been picking my courgettes in the last month, so that you go from having nothing to having a great big enormous glut of courgettes. So I'll definitely be sharing these with friends and family. There's absolutely no way I'm going to get through all these. So all these have to come off because obviously they'll all turn into marrows, and that's not what I want. So, but yeah, doing really, really well. Can't complain about that. So I've got a whole selection of different varieties here, which is what I like. I like having different types. It just makes everything more interesting. And I've got some lovely little round ones here as well. So I don't think I've got another one there to pick off. I think that's fine. What I have got are these beautiful patty pans, which are so lovely. Some people bake these whole actually when they're a little bit smaller. So these are absolutely fantastic. So this one's quite close to the plant. See, when you take them off, do be careful that you don't damage the stalk. But there we go. Absolutely fantastic courgettes. Really, really doing well. We've got a beautiful amount of bright light chard, which is something I love to grow. You can use it for various things. You can use it for as spinach, you can use it as salad leaves. So really, really good all round. It goes right through the winter. So it's an absolutely fantastic thing to grow. I really, really recommend it. So in here I've got my Brussels and my purple sprouting. I don't think anything's pickable at the moment. I did have one purple sprouting that had shot a few off, but I don't think there's any more in there at the moment, so we won't go disturbing that. This has been really successful of covering my plants, keeping the white cabbage butterfly off of my plants, which I'm sure everybody has problems with that. This has worked incredibly well indeed. So I've got absolutely bountiful amounts of kale under here, which can be harvested at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. Another staple in our family. Now this is where my broccoli was. I don't know if you've grown any broccoli. A lot of people, as soon as they've had the main broccoli head, then pull the broccoli up like a cauliflower. Well, it's worth leaving them in because you'll get what you'll see here, little side shoots of broccoli, a little bit like purple sprouting. So I've actually had quite a lot of pickings off these. So this is really, I love this. This is kind of like free food, you know. I know it's all free food because we grow it, but this is even better. So any of these little side shoots, pick these off. Like so. So I'll have all these off today because obviously if you leave them, they'll go to seed and then that would, you know, you wouldn't be able to eat them then, or you wouldn't want to eat them. So let's have a quick look, see what else we've got. So it's important that you get these picked off. So that's kind of like almost a milky there, so it's definitely worth leaving these in. And I picked off, you know, probably more last time I was up here. So this will just keep coming. You can see all the little shoots starting to form in the sides there, look. You know, so I'm going to get, you can see I'm going to get quite a lot more all shooting out, which is absolutely fantastic. So all my black currants are all picked, and my apple tree just there is not ready to pick. My eating apple tree is not ready to pick. So that's kind of what I'm harvesting this month. No doubt there'll be some more things as the month goes through. I'd love to hear what you're harvesting and how it's all going for you. If you've got any questions or queries, then please do put them in the comments.